It is time to finally reveal my master bedroom makeover. Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy high-end home decor and DIYs on a budget, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe so that you too can become part of the familia. Today I am going to show you how I, along with the help of my husband, created a calm getaway for ourselves at the end of each day. Before I start, I want to thank Purple, our sponsor for this video. Purple's mission is to give everyone the comfort they deserve and the support that they need. They offer a variety of mattresses, blankets, cushions, pillows, and even doggy beds so that your pups can sleep good too. They even make pajamas.
Wait a minute, they make pajamas?
Father's Day? A few years ago, we purchased our very first Purple mattress and we have not looked back. And while we have partnered with them for this video, I assure you that all opinions are 100% our own. All right, let's get started. So this is a room we are working with. As you can see, there is absolutely no character whatsoever, and it's pretty much a hot mess. We literally just plopped the furniture down when we moved in, and we've been focusing on taking care of the rest of the house that's needed to be fixed up. And since we're nowhere near being done in the rest of the house, it was time for us to create a nice little getaway for us at the end of each long day. We started by taking out some of the toys and the furniture so that we can make some space and start working on our feature wall. For this window, we did the exact same thing we did to the rest of the windows in the house. We took out the window sills and then we replaced it with this beautiful casing. We have a complete tutorial on how to do this yourself if you guys are interested, and I'll link to it in the description box below. Next, it was time to figure out the focal wall, and I wanted a complete wall of brick. I created a mood board and shared it with you guys in my previous video. Now, most of the times when you see people working on these walls, it's just a plain wall with no windows and no angles. However, we had both. So what we decided to do was start to the right of the window. That way we can get a complete panel up next to it. Then work our way to the right of the wall. Then once we were done with that, we moved our way towards the left. Now these panels are made to where you can butt them up right next to each other, but this creates an unsightly scene that pretty much gives away that you're using a panel instead of these being real brick. So I wanted to try a more of a jig puzzle effect where we cut the ends of the brick that you see right here and we join the two panels with two whole bricks on either side. If not, you would get a seam down the center of a brick all the way down the entire wall, and it would give the fact that it's a panel away. So doing it this way, you can fill it in with spackle or joint compound, and it will be less noticeable on the wall once you're finished, because it's easier to have imperfections in the mortar than it is to have a line straight down a brick, and it actually looks a little bit more authentic that way. The first panel we did took a little bit of trial and error, but we finally got it.
So you saw us struggling, but a lot of that had to do with this right here that we were working around. You know, if you don't have casings, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about that, but it's up. Trig, geometry, calculus, got nothing on me.
We use a combination of liquid nails as well as a nail gun to adhere each panel onto the wall. Here's what it looks like when it's installed. Alright, so some quick tips on how to make this look really nice. First of all, if you need to cut off any excess from your panels, make sure you do it on the floor because your eyes always travel up and you always want a full brick at the very top of your wall. Next, if you're doing the jigsaw puzzle joint method that we are doing, after removing the bottom, you also have to remove another brick layer because these are then going to be staggered in order for them to fit into the jigsaw pattern of the other panel. I hope that makes sense. And we found that chalk lines are the best thing in order to cut panels like this. It made the process go so much quicker. Once we got the necessary height that we needed for the panel, then we cut out all the jigsaw end pieces again. Always double check to make sure that you're cutting the right ones. And then we made sure to cut it down in order to fit into that little space towards the right. And then cut the angles according to the ceiling. The most important thing is to take your time, make sure you measure properly, adhere your panels to the ceiling so that they stay secure, and repeat the process. At this point, our purple mattress was delivered, and the guys were so amazing. They did not have my husband go through this again.
Don't hurt yourself.
All right. Purple mattress versus Superman take 3. By the way, this is like the 3rd time I've tried to pick this up.
Daddy dropped the mattress. It's okay.
Don't worry, the Latino engineer was perfectly fine. He did not get hurt, but always make sure you have somebody help you if you need to, because these purple mattresses are heavy. Okay, so after the panels are completely installed, I went in with joint compound to fill in those little jigsaw puzzle edges. I use a small putty knife for this, and it doesn't have to be perfect the first go around. Also, you may need 2 coats depending on how you want it to look. But this is basically the method. Just insert it between the panels where the seams are and try to get it as smooth and match up to the original panel. Now, if you want your final mortar color to be close to what was the original on the panel, then you'll have to paint it in so that it would match. However, I wanted to paint mine white, so it didn't matter that this was a different color. And then what I used in order to paint all of the mortar was Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. I also wanted to paint the brick, and you can paint this any color you want. I'll list the colors that I used below. But for an even better look and a more authentic look, you want to have a couple of variations of paint before you paint the brick. And while these are slight color changes, you will see that in the end they do indeed vary, and it gives the wall a little bit more depth. I had originally purchased a quart of my main color and then 2 smaller samples, but honestly I could have done the entire wall with just 3 small sample paints. Now, the first thing you want to do is paint your bricks if you do not want them in this red color. If you like the red, skip this step. What I noticed was instead of trying to make the bricks multicolored, it was actually better that I did different colored bricks. So I would paint one color, come back in, use the other color for the next brick, and just alternate it. This is what I thought gave it a more authentic look, because bricks are never the same exact color. And as I pan away from the wall, you see the variations in the bricks on the wall. Now, while this is pretty simple, it is a little bit time consuming. It took me about a day to do the entire wall, painting each individual brick. Now, once you paint the entire wall, you come back in and do the mortar. I used a small artist brush in order to apply the paint to the mortar. Then I would come back in with a damp, lint-free cloth and wiped off the edges of the bricks. That way it didn't look like it was painted on. As you can see here, I wipe it off, let the edges of the brick show. Now, sometimes I would distress the brick, add paint on the brick like you see here, or just smear some white paint over it. That way they all kind of varied, and this gave a nice, natural, more rustic and aged look to the overall wall. And yes, this is another time-consuming task. However, if you take your time and give a little bit of detail to each of the bricks, it will come out looking so amazing and so authentic, you won't even be able to tell that this is not real brick. Now, you can make this as clean or as rustic as you want. Sometimes I would take my putty knife with some chalk paint and I would smear it across some of the bricks, especially where I had the joints, to kind of hide them a little bit more, but that is completely up to you. And finally, the wall was done. Now, when we finished the wall, that was the moment where we took the rest of the furniture away and placed the bed in the center of the room so that we can paint the walls. Now, before you paint walls, you want to make sure you prep, and one of the very first things that you need to do is remove these plates. Trust me, the extra effort is going to help you paint easier, and it's going to look better in the end. Then I'm going to spread out my pre-taped painter's plastic. You guys know I love this stuff, and honestly, it's the best thing whenever you're painting walls in your room. I don't put the tape up to the very high part of the baseboards because I like to bring all my paint from my walls down, and then I come back and paint my baseboards when I'm done painting my walls anyways. Then after you adhere it to the wall, you cut at the very end of it, and then you pull it out. This protects the area right underneath the wall where you're painting. Then after some consideration and taking some advice from one of my followers here on YouTube, who also happens to be an interior designer, I decided to take the paint all the way up to the ceiling. Now, because where the ceiling met the walls was not perfectly straight, I went ahead and added painter's tape. We decided to go with a darker color than usual, and this is called Clean Slate. Now, whenever my husband and I paint walls, he always does the rolling and I do the cutting. That seems to work out the very best for us. And a quick tip, when painting your walls, always do up and down long strokes, as you see my husband doing right here. I worked in commercial property management, and whenever we had new tenant build outs, the professional painters would paint just like this as well. It is honestly the best way to give your wall a smooth and even finish. Now, I personally like to use a satin finish whenever I paint walls because it has the best wipeability. However, this time around, I went with an eggshell finish because I'm using a darker color. Darker colors tend to show more imperfections on the walls if they're in a shinier sheen. So it's better to go with a more matte sheen when painting darker colors to hide anything you have on your walls that might show a little bit too much. Here you see me painting the little mini doors that go into our attic space. I decided to paint the frame as well as the door in order to hide it a little bit better. Since there's so many angles and things going on the walls, I decided to go ahead and hide these so that there was less distraction when you moved your eyes across the wall and there was more flow. I decided to paint the large return on the wall for the same reason. Now, all you have to do is sand it a little bit so that it would adhere better, and then just paint it like normal. This paint has great coverage, however, we always do 2 full coats when painting our walls, and then we remove the tape shortly after the last coat. The only thing left to paint was the brand new window trim as well as the inside of the window casing, since it was the original color of the walls. And then finally the baseboards. We bought new handles for the little mini doors that go into the attic. That way they match the rest of our hardware in the house. And they were so easy, I was able to install them all on my own. And it was finally time to put everything back. It was time to put in our new purple mattress, but it was time to undress our old mattress. And here's the proof. We still had our purple mattress on our bed. Now we needed to put some furniture back into our room because our hallway was littered with furniture and we couldn't bring the mattress in. So we went ahead and brought some pieces and then removed the current mattress in preparation for the new one. We removed the box springs because the legs on the braces that went across our bed were actually broken and we had to get a new base for our mattress. Before that, I made sure to clean the bed frame really well. And then we installed the new freestanding bed frames, and I didn't know that these existed. These fit in a standard king size bed frame and they go right in. All you have to do is bolt them together so that they don't move individually. And then we were finally ready to bring in our new mattress. I don't know if you know, but purple was first started by two brothers. One was literally a rocket scientist, and the other was a comfort tech genius. They started by creating better wheelchair cushioning, and then this led to creating medical beds. Naturally, they progressed and wanted to help people like you and me. As they continued improving their cushioning technology, they created a hyper-elastic polymer that could be molded up to a large king mattress. It's a soft material that's strong but could stretch up to 15 times its resting size, making it super durable.
So it comes with, so I'm a little out of breath. It comes, that thing's pretty heavy. I recommend, 2 people doing it. But anyways, it comes with a little example of what the purple grid is. So it's actually pretty cool. It looks like it's got the little pillow. But this is that special technology, behind science or whatever. I forget what the commercials say.
It's science.
Yeah. But it feels really soft. I feel that.
They look like little doll beds. We're gonna give these to the girls and put their little dolls on it. Look at that. That's so cute.
And it's so funny. Like our kids love the little eye thingies. For whatever reason, they love putting them on at night. So, this will be pretty cool. We'll just give it to them. There's only 2, so the kids are gonna fight over it. So it comes with this little opening tool, kind of looks like a letter opener, and what you're supposed to do is slice this thing open.
If you're interested in checking out purple for yourself, I have a link in my description box for you all below. We remove the purple exterior plastic and then begin removing the clear plastic from the mattress. They offer different grid heights in order to suit everyone's sleeping styles. The hyper-elastic gel grid immediately flexes to support your position and springs back into place as you readjust and move overnight. 1,800 air channels that are built into the temperature-neutral grid create a breathable foam that allows you to stay comfortable throughout the entire night.
And then it sounds like an air leak.
You can hear it.
We unwrapped it and then it was time to test it. All right, let's ask the Latino engineer how it feels.
I think it feels great. I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I weigh 235, and the 4 inches of the purple grid.
The hyper-elastic gel grid, babe. Get it right.
Feels good. I mean, we love the original, but holy cow. This feels even better.
What's gotten me excited about purple sheets is that now they come in a variety of colors. They are so soft and they have the perfect amount of stretch. The Latino engineer is a super fan of these sheets, if you guys recall.
Are they Latino engineer approved?
I love these sheets. Look at them. They're like stretchy, but it's really soft.
They also make their pillows with the same technology, and one of the things that I love about Purple is how they package their products. They take such care in their packaging, and it really shows how much they care about their brand. All right, now that we're super excited that we're going to be sleeping with our new Purple mattress tonight, it is time to do all the finishing touches to this room. We brought in the rest of the furniture, and the Latino engineer helped me install brand new curtain rods above our window. I love that brick wall, but I did want to add a little bit of softness to it by including some long white flowy curtains. One of the things I also decided to do was remove the vanity mirror that came attached to the vanity. I think this way it adds a little bit more of a high-end look by adding a different mirror. This one used to be in my dining room at the last house. I may eventually paint it, but for right now I want to see how it works. And these curtains are so beautiful. I love that they're nice and flowy and see-through, but the top of them is what sold me on these. These have these beautiful leather straps to hang them from, and I thought it was so unique. And since it wasn't in the budget to replace my furniture, I decided to give it a little bit of a facelift. My vanity had these panels on 2 doors on the front, and I decided to change them over because you can flip them in order to give it a different look. I brought back in all of the accessories that I wanted to keep in the room that I already had, and then I began wiping everything down. Once everything was nice, clean, and dusted, I began to decorate and set up the room. And if anybody asks, Yami, do you really need these many layers on your bed? Yes, I do. Do we actually sleep in them? No, we don't. I personally like a nice, fluffy and luxurious bed, and you only achieve that with several layers. I do love that hotel feel whenever I make my bed. So yes, I love all of these layers. Of course, at night, we pull them all the way down to the end of the bed and we don't use them. But honestly, it just makes me so happy when I have so many layers on my bed. For now, I decided to leave the large armoire outside of our room and try a seating area just to see how it works, because we don't really have one in our space. If it doesn't end up working out, I can always change it back. Now, I know that not everyone has an entertainment console in their room. However, if you have any cords, anything that's unsightly, always try books, because it always works in hiding some of those cables that you don't want to show. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a like. I'd love for you to tell me what you thought of the makeover and let me know which part of the bedroom was your favorite. Don't forget that in my description box is a link to Purple's website so that you can check out everything Purple has to offer to give you a better night's sleep. Thank you so much, Purple, for partnering with us on this video. Thank you so much for being here this week, and I will see you all next week with another home decor and DIY video. Until then, adios.